Very
so
well
lit.
lit.
We are so lit. There is nothing more lit than Alan and Jenny.
There is not. Hopefully my pores are okay. Well, welcome to another exciting episode of A Girl and Her Unicorn Comic Book Reviews, where we will be reviewing comic books for the week.
All the things.
All the things. There are spoilers, so if you have not read your comic books for the week, then we advise you to pause, read your comic books, and come back. We will try to get the numbers, the times of the books that we review into the description, so you can skip to it if you would like. Otherwise, we're just going to get right to it. Who gets to go this first this week?
There were a lot of books this week.
So many books. I was so busy this week that I did not get to a lot of them, which was really, really sad.
I thought that was going to happen to me, but I powered through yesterday.
I really wanted to last night, but we had movie club last night, and I was so I lost 5 hours.
Okay, so these are the ones you read?
Yeah, these are the ones I read.
I'll start.
Okay.
Heroes in Crisis.
Okay.
My boy Tom King.
Okay.
You read this?
I did read it.
Okay. So this is written by Tom King with art by Clay Mann.
Which I really love.
I love Clay Mann. Okay. So
we'll get to it in a minute.
Yes, we'll get to the art in a second. Okay. I loved this book. I loved it.
I'm super excited for the premise of it.
Yes. Because I'm such a Tom King lover, I kind of come into things where I'm like, okay, expectations low, because at some point it's gotta not go well or something, I was very happy with this. So the premise of the book is Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman have created a place called Sanctuary where superheroes can go to just kind of rest, or, if they're dealing with any PTSD, this is supposed to be a place that they can go to kind of get away from it all. And it starts right in. You don't really know. I mean, they don't do a lot of explaining because up to this point, you are aware that Sanctuary is this place. So they jump right into
they have dropped hints in the past in other books about so and so being in Sanctuary, or I'm going to take them to Sanctuary.
Yes, Poison Ivy in the Batman book was sent to Sanctuary. Booster Gold was sent to Sanctuary. Flash, and one of the Flashes was sent to Sanctuary. So first page in, you're going and. I really like the 9-panel usage in this.
You love the 9-panel.
I do.
She loves the 9
I love the 9-panel.
She loves the Tom King.
I love all the Tom King. But, so it starts out with Harley and Booster Gold being in, because Sanctuary, I believe, is Nebraska? Am I right?
I thought it was supposed to be in Kansas. I thought it was supposed to be where the Kent farm.
For some reason, I was thinking it was Nebraska. But anyway, they start out where they're in a little diner, and it's I don't even know. Okay, so the reason I said something about the 9-panel is because when you go through the book, several of the different people who have actually been killed in this book, spoiler, basically they have said why they are at Sanctuary. And he's done a very good job of laying out their reasons for being at this place. So Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are coming to Sanctuary because there has been a mass murder that has happened.
They've lost contact with Sanctuary, so they're going to find out why they've lost contact.
And so it's the stories going back and forth between the Trinity getting to Sanctuary and Booster Gold and Harley Quinn in this diner having some dialogue where they start fighting. And Harley Quinn
stabs him.
Is crazy. Yeah. She's crazy, but in this book, she is completely off her rocker. And so Superman shows up at Sanctuary. You see several main characters have been killed in this.
I wouldn't say main, but they're definitely characters that are known. It's not like some unknown random people that you don't know.
I guess the Flash one is the one that's kind of the big deal, where people are freaking out about it.
Super spoiler, the 5 big ones that they have are Flash and Arsenal are the two big ones. There's Steel, Hotspot. I'm not for sure where he's from.
And Blue Jay.
He's been in a lot of Justice League in the past, so I don't know if he is currently in the mythos or not. I don't know how he fits in there, because they kind of almost reintroduce him into the 9 panels. They're like, hey, I shrink,
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
And then he talks about, but it refers to some stuff that happened in the past, before the reboot and rebirth and
okay. Because Hotspot and Blue Jay I'm not familiar with at all as far as
Blue Jay I am as a character, but I don't know how he fits into this rebirth world. Mm-hmm. But Hotspot I have no idea. I'm not for sure if that's somebody. And then Laguna Boy. Laguna Boy is the other one that's been killed.
I didn't catch him. Yeah,
he's the green guy on the bottom.
Oh, okay. So the book is going back and forth between the Trinity getting to Sanctuary and Booster Gold and Harley Quinn having some savage dialogue with each other.
As she tries to kill him.
As she's literally stabbing him.
Yeah.
And so
she's singing this funny little like all these little nursery rhyme songs that she's stabbing him like Old MacDonald had a stabby McStab stab.
Oh
and
my
like,
gosh.
Yeah.
It's one of those books where it's, again, I think Tom King's dialogue is so great.
Yeah.
As far as like what's going on, like there's a panel in the early part where it goes with Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman that I loved because you really felt like they need to get there. Like Batman's telling Superman, "Don't touch anything," like and Bruce he knows, and it's just like, yeah, I know, but you just have to see this. And so what I took away from this book was I really felt like the writing and the art portrayed the emotion that you needed to feel going through this book. Like, you're just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? From the erratic side of Booster Gold and Harley Quinn having their fight to just you're wanting Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman to get to Sanctuary.
See what's going on, what the deal is.
So you don't know exactly what is going on as far as who has done this. They're kind of leaving it to where you feel like, does Harley or Booster have something to do with this?
Yeah.
But
they make it out to be more like a Harley, like Harley's lost her mind, she's stabbing, killing people, going crazy. But when Superman gets to the Sanctuary, he finds out that the Sanctuary is pretty much like just scuttled, like it's just like destroyed, and then the dead bodies. And then they flash back to where Harley and Booster have fallen out of the sky, and they're kind of sitting there still chatting, and she reveals.
What does she reveal, Alan?
She reveals that she is not the killer, but Booster Gold is the one that killed everybody.
But is she?
But
is he?
I don't know. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're leading to. I think they led it to be a Harley killed everybody, went crazy, killed everybody, or killed several people.
Yes.
And then
because Goldie, how deep did you crack?
Yeah, exactly. That's because at the very the last page is not the big revelation. They reveal it, and then they have the last page where he talks about like how he needs help.
Yes.
He goes through his 9-panel introduction and says, "Help me."
I mean, that's literally the last words that are said in the book are "help me."
So story-wise, I'm with you. Like, I thought it was really interesting. I thought the pacing was really well. Mm-hmm. They set it up really well. I had read a lot of stuff. This is why I hate reading stuff. This is why. And I kind of
like news.
Not spoiled it, but kind of figured out, like kind of knew the premise, so I knew how it followed. But otherwise, I thought it was really it didn't reveal too much at the beginning, and it kind of set it up to be this like little red herrings, but then it was like there was this weight to it because they killed off. I mean, Flash and Arsenal are pretty big.
Yeah, those are big characters.
I mean, like they've had their own books several times. Arsenal's part of the Titans.
And their relationships with other people are very important.
Yes, so. Green Arrow and Batman are definitely an Arsenal kind of person. And then the Flash, it's Wally West. I mean, that's a huge one.
Yes.
I mean,
which we have friends that are very, 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 very upset about this.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not for sure how that's gonna go. Like,
no, and I mean, we can give you a basic premise of the story, but quite honestly, the dialogue throughout, just the Harley and Booster Gold, the dialogue that they have back and forth is so clever.
Yeah. It's a really. I would definitely. It's definitely a must read.
Well, and from the PTSD side, where this is something that Tom's really wanted to kind of bring to light, is the PTSD. The way that he did the 9 panels, and that's why I brought that up earlier, was you have each of the characters, like main characters, I guess, that have been killed, kind of giving their reasons why they're at Sanctuary, and it's very poignant.
Yeah.
Like, it's very real to life type stuff. Mm-hmm. But then, I mean, main premise, obviously, they're at Sanctuary. The art in this book is stellar.
The only thing that I think makes the art that much better is the colors.
Oh my gosh.
The colors in this is like almost watching a
comic
book watercolor painting.
It's beautiful.
Come to life. Like, the coloring in this is just that pops. It is like, it's got a muted tone, but almost a reality to it. The shadows are amazing. They just do really well setting the different atmospheres between the different scenes. In reference to the 3 panels where it's Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. and Batman's got this like bright red kind of
and
dark,
very pensive face.
and it's this dark coloring, and then Wonder Woman's got this bright, airy kind of coloring, and then he's got this kind of gold goddish coloring. I mean, like they just did this.
Well, and this particularly, the detail that Clay put into their faces, where you really see their characters coming through. Whereas, like I mentioned earlier, the pensive side of Batman, like, don't touch anything, let me get there, I need to see what the clues are. Yeah. You have the open kindness of Wonder Woman and just the injustice that Superman feels seeing what he's seeing, because he's already there.
I have to say, though, I was really put off by this book. I know that I hate crossovers, but I feel like they do them all the time. They make them a yearly thing, which I don't think they should do. I think they should make them poignant when they need to.
Sure.
And so I was really just like, it's another crossover, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. And, man, I was, I'm like, nope, really good.
It's really good. And like I said, because I am kind of Tom King biased, I kind of came into it going, okay, Jenny, keep an open mind. Just because it's him, don't be, And
sometimes crossovers I feel like crossovers are hard because you can't do anything.
Right.
Like you can't kill characters off. You can't do this. And they just...
Well, a little bit of backstory to this. Tom actually said in an interview that when they approached him, he actually had them pick the characters because he's like, basically, I'm going to F these people up. Yeah. So I need to know who I'm allowed to do that with. Yeah. And so he kind of knew going into it that this was going to be kind of a rough go. But it's going to be a 9-issue. I think it was originally 6, but they bumped it up to 9. I think Lee Weeks is going to come in with some art as well. But for issue 1, like, they set up the story. And as soon as I finished, I wanted number 2 right then. Yeah.
It makes me nervous that they did this.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. I don't understand. So we talked about the people that got killed off. So it was Hotspot, this is Laguna Boy in the green, and then Steel is on the bottom. But there's this lady with a mask.
If they're wearing a robe and a mask, it's because they did not want their identity to be known at Sanctuary.
Oh,
so there are a few people at Sanctuary that do not want people to know who they are.
So this is somebody we don't know yet. So, but they also have that on the cover too.
Yes, and I'm wondering if this is going to go back.
Did you read that somewhere?
I'm wondering if this is going to fit in with Rebirth, and is it the Pirate's Mask or something that helps Gotham Girl? It's in the early Rebirth Batman, so I think that ties in with the mask a little bit. Okay. But I can't say for sure yet. I don't know how much they're going to feed into that, so I don't want to speak too much.
So I'm curious who this other person is going to be. Yeah. Because that's one person they don't do the 9 panel for. They don't know. But so they got a robe and mask. So there's a 5th person, or wait, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th person that we don't know who is killed.
And then because we have,
and then that mask and robe are on the top. Yeah. Because it would be
so then you have Arsenal and Flash inside of the house still, and then everybody, like all of the caretaker people are also,
which are like kind of robots, which were also, they talk about being based on the Trinity again. Yes. They talk about like the honor of Superman. I think Booster Gold at the end says it, like it's the will of Batman, the compassion of Wonder Woman, and the honor of Superman are put into these robots or these caretakers to be, so that they can help the people in Sanctuary. So, yes.
So for book 1, I'm very pleased. Very pleased.
I was really shocked. Like I really went into it not wanting. I was just like, meh, it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I was really like, I want it to be good so bad.
But it's so good, yeah.
And it was so good. So I would recommend this to anybody. Please, if you're pick this up, check it out, because it is, it's a big event that's happening right now. I will definitely be picking up the next issue.
I feel also, if you don't know the characters, like if you're newer to comic books and this is something that you're starting out, like I don't feel like you don't have to know who the characters are. They kind of do a good job of introducing them.
Yes. And I don't think you have to be reading any other series or any of their other series at this point. No. And from a Unicorn Horn rating, I give it 5.
I would say
I thought it was great.
5 out of 5, just because I was definitely shocked. Yeah, I would agree.
Art and story were wonderful, and they married together perfectly. So it's Tom King does it again for me. I'm like, good.
So let's keep going with number one issues. So
Okay.
I did, one of the ones that I actually did get to and got to read was Justice League Odyssey.
Yeah.
So number
Picture
one.
As well. So we
Oh,
have
good, different cover.
we've got the variant and the original.
Ooh, I like yours better.
It is pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Terry
Terry Dodson,
Dodson.
of course. It's always Terry Dodson.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's they play into the whole Justice League
No Justice.
the No Justice line.
Which I'll be honest
Where?
was so long ago because this book has been so delayed that I was like, I don't remember what happened in No Justice.
Well, I just remember the trees.
Yeah.
You know, the Brainiac.
I remember the Tree of Wonder because it's in Justice League Dark.
I remember the small premise about the trees, and then they have the space. There's a space one. There's a magic one.
Lots
and
of
two other
foliage.
ones.
Lots of foliage.
Like if you're an arborist, this would
Yes.
be your nightmare. But it was. So this is their space one. This
Yes,
is going to be
this
their
is the
kind of their
space book.
space team.
Yes.
Which, from the first glance, it's Starfire, the female Green Lantern from the duo.
Yes, Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, Jessica, and then Azrael and Cyborg.
Did you know that was Darkseid?
I didn't know until like I read it.
I didn't either. I was like, oh, that's Darkseid? Oh.
But it's like a rebirth Darkseid. It's not like the
Yeah.
old Darkseid.
Well, I think
I'm
that's what
assuming
threw
it's the
me off.
Darkseid from like if you read Wonder Woman. I think he came
Yeah.
back in that, and he was a baby.
Like, I felt like I should have known, but it's like I wondered, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting.
I guess I just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, he's got the mega sign on his chest, and he like he's got
Well,
the
he has
red
kind of like
eyes.
the face.
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
got those
So
arms.
it makes sense that it's him. It just, he looks different
I just wasn't
to me.
ready for that.
Yeah.
So it starts off with this Green Lantern's trying to get off. So in No Justice, they rescued the planets from the library and from Brainiac's library and
Yes.
expanded them and brought them back to life. So all these planets are.
He already
are-
remembers more than me.
Yeah. I only remember because I read it. So I was like,
I still read it.
Slowly
and I don't
came
remember
back.
that.
Slowly came back. So all the planets are in this cloud that they can't get through, and so they're still kind of isolated. But it starts off with this Green Lantern trying to get off world, and she doesn't make it. She
Nope.
doesn't have and then it talks about Jessica, the Green Lantern from Earth, or one half of the Green Lantern from Earth. She's the guardian for this sector.
The ghost sector.
The ghost sector. And so she's kind of, she's bored and she's just
Yeah,
like,
so she
I'm
takes
so
on
bored.
this particular...
Yeah, she talks to Baz for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Brainiac's ship shoots through and is heading through the ghost cloud so that they can get to the planets. And so Jessica tries to stop them. Kind of find out on the Brainiac ship is Cyborg and Starfire, and Azrael, for some reason, randomly hides away. I know he just like shows up out of nowhere.
Which, I mean, is fine.
I mean,
Attractive.
as a
fine.
premise, well, no, but as a premise, like I was like, really, they couldn't.
Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah, they just kind of like he just pops out of
Yeah.
nowhere. It's like, hey guys, let's keep going.
I told you to stay down in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's that voice.
Yeah, so
It calls to me.
yeah, so there's a voice that they're all hearing, and they're all kind of it drives them to come in. Cyborg has a hard time steering the Brainiac ship because you have to be Brainiac, and he's kind of fooling it with his mother box. Yeah, he is. His mother box.
He's totally...
They save Jessica. They bring her in. They crash on the planet, and they come to find out that the voice that's been talking to them and lead them to the planets or to come into the ghost sector to kind of inspire them ends up being Darkseid.
Do they have a thing going?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's very like,
Cyborg
personal.
and Starfire, I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it is, it's a new thing.
It's a new thing, right?
But I don't think it's the thing.
But I mean, that panel kind of says it's like very intimate.
I think she's just trying to be
Good
a friend
friends.
because
Yeah.
they're Titans, former Titans.
Yeah. Which
Um,
makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have to make everything a couple. But...
No, but that's what they like to do. So they find out Darkseid has been the one talking to them, and he's been the one that's kind of trying to steer them to get here. And the reason why is because since these people were the one that rescued all the planets are thinking them as gods. So Starfire is a god of one. They talk about Cyborg being a god of one, and Azrael as a god of one. But he wasn't even in the No Justice, so I don't know. Like, I don't know where this all comes from. It's very odd.
Yeah.
I'm not for sure. So the story is has some holes in it that I'm curious to see what's going on.
Yeah, I couldn't tell for me if it was just because this book was so delayed that No Justice has been months ago that like I couldn't tell for me personally if it was holes because I just couldn't remember everything from No Justice or if it was just the story was holy.
Yeah, I think there was definitely things that like Azrael popping out of nowhere. Why are they gods all of a sudden?
Right,
That's
like this
probably
prophecy.
Yeah, that's probably something they'll explain later. And where Azrael comes in, he just comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. It was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, I wasn't like over the moon about it.
No, I wasn't like, oh,
No
this
pun
is
intended
a new great book. And even as beginnings, like even as a first issue, I thought it was a little.
It was a little weak.
Yeah, it was weak.
But
nothing. I wasn't really super impressed. I will pick up issue 2 though.
I will definitely be picking up issue 2. The art is beautiful.
The art is really neat. Oh, I totally forget. I totally skipped over who did it and who done it.
Oh, who done it?
So Joshua Williamson was the writer and Sajik. I'm so sorry.
No,
what's
that
your
one.
name?
Yep.
Artist did the art and then the cover. And the art was actually really good. I thought it was pretty talented.
The art throughout was really, really well done.
I think
the colors were nice too.
Colors were nice. I feel like it was a bit muted, but I didn't think it was bad.
I'm liking this new paper that DC has been printing on. I'm liking it a lot.
I don't disagree with this.
I think it shows the colors, and I've noticed that several artists on social media have talked about how their art is coming through a lot better because of the paper choice in the last couple of weeks.
I do feel like his art, like his people look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
They have the very long, lean bodies and the broad shoulders for the men, and then like the lean bodies for the women, very angular hips.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely has a style, but
and I liked his dark side. I mean, once I was like, oh, that's dark
side. The only thing I could have done without dark side is those I don't even know what they are, like these flaps.
Yeah,
like the flaps.
It's kind of like old armor style.
Yeah,
it's kind of medieval looking.
He almost looks like he has a corset on.
Maybe.
So,
hey, Darkseid wants a waist too.
Not my. Touche. I still don't like it. Even with this new revelation that Darkseid likes to be attractive.
It's like, hey, if you were gray and crackly, would
dressed and you're like, Desaad, am I pretty?
Like, yes. Does this make my butt look big?
Does this flap make my hips look huge? Like, does
Am I
it?
too
Does
wide?
it?
Am I too wide?
Maybe. Overall, I liked this new look, but this, I don't know what those flaps are.
He definitely looks more evil.
I would rather them do something different, like maybe I don't know.
Just no flaps at all.
Yeah, just no flaps would have been fine, but I like the hood and the his new cinched, sexy waist. He's been trying really hard.
He has. Yeah. He's been in the gym, yo.
He's been in the gym.
Be nice. Why are you being hateful?
I don't know, but he needs to hit leg day because his calves are kind of flat. Like he just needs to.
I think it's just the angle.
Okay, you could possibly
cut in some slack, man.
I cut no one slack. Slack is for the week.
So I thought it was okay.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm going to pick up the next issue to try to give it a try. It's caught my interest enough to be like, well, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
But as far as Unicorn Horn ratings, I'd probably say a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was. I guess it's also. I read some
other
other stuff this week.
0.5 for the art.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the art is probably bumped up to a 3, but I would say 2.
Yeah, no,
2 out of 5.
I was giving it, yeah.
2.5, 2. So
because it wasn't okay. Like a lot of books this week, I felt like were kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
This one was like
on the weaker end.
Yes, it was on the weaker end. Because I would say I had a lot of books that were 3s this week, but that one was I was like the art. Yeah. I really did enjoy the art, but the story was a little weak.
Yeah, and for a first issue, I think I'm willing to give it some leeway.
Yes.
Because first issues are hard.
Without the corset.
Yeah. Without his thigh flaps.
I'm a little partial to Darkseid, so I'm like, I don't know.
So that would be it, yeah.
I wanted to talk about the Domino annual, but you didn't get to it.
I didn't get to it, but go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to read it either way.
This was fun. This was cute.
I'm interested to see what you think.
Domino has been really fun.
It really has.
It's I don't know, I like it. It's not like a super deep book, but then at the same time, there's like some good
emotion
that comes through. So this is the annual number 1. And there was several little short stories, and so I think you're really going to like the first short story because it is when
I like
Domino and Diamondback meet Outlaw for the first time and how she joins their posse. So it was just this cute little story about they go to this small town. She's kind of like the bodyguard. Outlaw seems to be the bodyguard for this little bar. Somebody tries to hit on her. And then she basically is like, no, thank you, maybe later. He makes a frickin' mutie comment, which pisses her off real bad. And so turns into a big bar brawl. So Domino and Diamondback show up while Outlaw is putting the spank down on all these redneck cowboys. And they have some words with each other. And then, in the end, she ends up joining their little group. So it was just this really cute little short story about how, early on they met and how she's like, Domino's saying that I've been a part of the Avengers, I've been a part of the X-Men, but I've never had my own group. I want my own group. And so that's how that kind of Professor Salvage shows up. It's cute. I think you will enjoy it. I thought of you when I was reading it. So it's it's just this cute little, it's just 3 cute little short stories.
So I've already looked through it. So I know it's short stories and kind of but it's definitely an annual book.
Yes, it's definitely an annual book. So the second story is about Cable and Domino. They're in the bathtub together.
I know.
And so it's
sassy.
It's very sassy.
Not quite Batman penis, but it's sassy still.
Which was better, but it's fine.
No Cable penis.
Cable's crazy. So the streamline through this book is that she's talking about how she has somewhere she has to be. She has all these, she doesn't understand why she set up all these jobs for this day. And so it's kind of like her going through these different jobs. So she's training with Cable in this story. And then the next story is so it goes from her to that. And then she's like, okay, well, I still don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. It goes to her next job where basically she's going to cheer Colossus up because he didn't get married, so he's sitting on this cliff with this champagne.
And they had a thing in X-Force.
Yes, and so it talks about how they kind of had a thing, and so she basically steals this helicopter and this mask just to cheer him up, and then they have a little special time together at the end of that story, which is real sweet. But you're like, goodness, girl, she's kind of getting around this issue.
She does.
And then her next job is basically to take out this old man who I guess is abusive to his daughter. So she was hired as a merc. Okay. And so come to find out, this thing that through the entire book she's been saying, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, I don't know if I'm going to make it, is that her and why can't I remember names today? Why do I have your affliction today?
I don't know, but
Nightcrawler have created this support group for basically mutants who don't look like all the other mutants. And so it's this support group where they can come together and it be a safe place to talk about, what they're dealing with. Yes. And so it was actually very sweet because they kind of start picking on one girl who just looks like a normal person, and come to find out all of her powers have been stripped. And so for her, who she actually loved having her powers, she's really upset because now she has nothing that sets her apart. And so let me premise the part where it gets started that she's not coming. So Nightcrawler's kind of disappointed in her because this was actually her idea. And so in the end, she ends up coming in because they kind of start attacking this girl. And she's like, no, the reason we started this is so that everybody had a safe place to feel like they could talk about things. And so it ended up being this really sweet little end to the story where they have the support group. And so these people that were fighting in it ended up actually bonding because of it. So it was really sweet. And then it just ends with Domino going to bed. She's just like, it's been a really long day, I'm tired, I'm just gonna go sleep with her puppy who shows up in the very first issue of Domino.
I know, and you love that.
Yes, I do love the puppies. So it was very cute.
And there was several different artists on this.
Yes, there were.
They, I think each artist took a...
each short story was a different one. Yeah. So sorry I didn't even start out with that. So the first was Domino and the Posse and Dead Drunk in Dry Gulch, which was Gail Simone is who was writing the series, so she wrote that one. Victor Ibanez is the artist on that story. And then the writer for the Cable and Domino story was Fabian Nicieza, with Juan Gideon as the artist. And it was nice. It was just kind of the story. It was more like Cable just talking, was that story. Like where he's fighting for a lie and how he needs hope. And then the story with Colossus, which was really cute, because in the end he's like, you totally just stole this helicopter to like make me feel better, didn't you? And she's like, yeah.
I did.
She's like, maybe.
But I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that was the one I don't know who the artist was on that one. Here at the end. Actually, it says at the end. So Rebound was Dennis Hopeless and Leonard Kirk. And then Domino and the Rejects was Leah Williams and Natasha Bustos.
Nacha Bustos.
Okay, there you go. And then Saturdays Are for the Body Count was also Leah Williams. And then the artist for that one was Michael Shelfer. So,
Leonard Kirk. I like Leonard Kirk.
He's the one that did Rebound. That was actually the art that I liked probably the best was his.
Yeah.
I really liked his. Probably out of all the stories, I liked the Colossus one just because it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
I loved it. This book is really good. If you haven't had a chance to read the series, like I've really enjoyed the series. The art's really tight. The story was really good. It's a fun read.
It's
you said,
fun.
it's nothing too crazy. The
I would say it was
amazing.
above average
Frank
though.
Cho.
Like, oh yeah, you can never go wrong with Cho.
No.
I was like a 3.5. It was better than middle of the road, but it still wasn't anything like. You know,
it wasn't further the story. It was just kind of fun
it's an annual.
stories. Yeah.
Annuals are fun. You know.
Yeah.
It's fine. So I enjoyed it. I'd pick it up if
I
you're not reading Domino.
Reading it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't read this one.
I know.
We always talk about Domino.
I was trying to see if I was almost like gonna text you and be like, can we hold off for just an hour? I need an hour and I can get through. No, I was like, we need to get it done. So since we're not posting it, we're gonna get it done. So let's see. I'm gonna do Wonder Woman.
Hey.
Wonder Woman number 55.
I'm like, hold on, let me find it. Jenny Frison variant covers are my favorite.
I know. I saw that one and I wasn't that big of a fan of that one.
What?
This one's way awesome.
Well, actually, I have to agree that I love this cover.
I saw this cover and I was like, nope, this is the one.
No, I almost bought both covers. I really try not to give into that very often, but I really loved that cover. But I'm a Jenny Frison fan, so I had to go ahead and buy her cover. I had to support her. But this, I have to agree that this cover was really, really good.
Yeah, I really liked this cover. And now I gotta find so the writer is Steve Orlando, and the penciler or the artist was Raul Allen and Patricia Martin. So I guess there was a couple artists on there. And you can tell there is a difference between some of the art.
Yeah, there's a like. But
this is a continuation of the story. So this is like a.
This is the conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it part 3? Part 2? Part 3. I think it's part 3.
So if you
haven't, if you're not reading the current Wonder Woman line, it may be a little bit more confusing for you. But in this story, they are. In the past couple issues leading up to this, the Amazons, Bana Migdal's,
I've been saying Bana Migdal. That's what I've been saying. So
Artemis's tribe, the ones that were supposed to be nomads, are wanting to find a place to call their own, and they've kind of been led by this queen that is kind of misled them or kind of used them to her own benefit,
further her own goals. I think.
And so she's wanting the people to stay where they're at. And so she makes this kind of war up, and she hires this assassin to kind of help them to be able to do this. And they get into the middle of this war between Korak and Balia, right?
Sure.
2 different countries.
Yeah.
So they the Amazons are on one side, and then the military's on the other side. And then the assassin and Artemis and Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman finds out the plot in the past issue, so she's going to the front lines to kind of stop them. And so she gets there, and of course Artemis is like, no, you're not going to stop us. And so they fight.
She's really stubborn.
Yeah.
Artemis is, I love her.
I really like Artemis.
And she's so stubborn.
I know we're going to get to art, but like really quick, like the artist that, like, I love her, the way that they make her look. I love her costume. I love her, the artist, the way they make her, like, they give that kind of texture to her. It's just...
I liked
really
Artemis
like
more than I like how she did Wonder Woman.
I don't disagree. I think
Yeah.
Wonder Woman looks flat and kind of
Yes.
like...
Boring.
Yes. She almost looks like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
Or not cartoon,
but then
Saturday
other
morning,
times,
like,
other panels, she looks really, I don't know. It was
detailed.
weird.
Yeah, it's like the first part, she just kind of like mutes her. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second.
Paper dollish looking.
Yes, like flat.
Yes.
Just weird. So Wonder Woman finally wins over Artemis by using the lasso of truth, the Golden Perfect, and so she helps her to kind of see the truth and what's going on, and so they go to fight the assassin and Rustam.
Yeah, I was like, what's it, Rustam?
Rustam, I think it's Rustam. And then they fight him. They try to use the bow of Ra. He cuts to the bow of Ra, which is supposed to be impossible. And then he's getting ready to hurt them. And Wonder Woman uses the Golden Perfect again and kind of gets him to see the truth that like he's really shouldn't be doing this. Da, da, da.
You're being used.
Yeah. So then they go. Artemis goes back to the castle or to their encampment and stops the queen. Stops her from destroying everybody and basically fights the queen and says, no, if you're gonna do this, you're not my queen. All the stuff that she's supposed to do. And then they kind of they keep her, the queen, but they also put Atlantia, her Wonder Woman's aunt, and they found her, the Benjamin McDowell's Amazons, kind of co-chairing, I guess, is kind of what they kind of give it a premise. Like, she's like, they're going to co-rule.
There was like a prime minister or something just right advice. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
know. It was
know
like Jafar to the Sultan.
There you go. She's going to help keep them in line, keep them true to what they are. And then at the end, Wonder Woman gives Artemis Ultra Woman, who is a crime syndicate or an alternate version of Wonder Woman. They called her Superwoman. It gives her Artemis gives her that lady's lasso because that lady was evil, and she's like, you can change it and make it into something else. And she goes, we'll call it the Golden Promise. So she gives Artemis this kind of lasso of her own.
Okay, because that's where this book lost me. I had no idea what that meant.
So Superwoman was part of the crime syndicate, which was an alternate world where all the Justice League were bad, but they're alternate versions of like Ultraman was from Experiment and all this stuff. Superwoman was Lois Lane, but she was really she kind of got all these Amazonian powers. And, she had
Is that the one where she's like carrying Superman at one point, or is that just like a fun cover type thing?
I don't know. I'd have to see that one.
I have a magnet.
If you read Wonder Woman, she was in Wonder Woman. She got killed by Darkseid. When Darkseid was reborn.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she was the one, and she had the baby.
That was a hot minute ago.
Yeah.
That was a good hot minute.
Yes. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's all locked in here, locked in the safe.
He is so good with continuity. I'm just
what
happened again?
I think that's why I'm horrible with names, because I get the big picture and I remember the storylines and stuff and like who's where and what they did and but I cannot remember names to save my life.
I feel like this is like you're the yin to my yang, because I get caught up in the details.
Normally she remembers names.
Yeah, I'm better with names and I'm better with details, but he's so much better with the big picture overview where I'm like, I don't know, but see this happened in this panel. I'm telling you.
I lied to you. It was Ultraman, and she was called Superwoman was the alternate one.
Ah, okay.
So she had this lasso that tortured people, it would make them feel pain.
So now they each have their own lasso.
Right. So she's given it to Artemis to hopefully make it not an instrument of evil.
Okay.
So now they each have their own lasso.
And did you see down here where it talks about where Artemis, if you want to follow Artemis's journey, so are you doing that?
I don't know. I actually have been contemplating going back and reading the Red Hood and the Outlaws. Because Artemis, I also want to know where Artemis got the bow of Ra, and because that was something earlier in the series.
Yeah, in the Red Hood series.
Yeah, and so I kind of want to read it because I like Artemis. I like her as a character. But
I really like that, her axe.
Yes, and the bow. The bow is really cool. I like how they had to in the past couple issues they used the bow of Ra against oh my gosh, the Aztec god who had the name that I cannot.
This.
So many vowels.
Okay, I'm good with names, but I'm sorry.
So many vowels.
That name was like this long.
And like, I mean, like there was like at least it was like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but in a name.
Yes.
And so I don't know. I like that Aztec god. They remember they shot him with it, but it took 3 of them. It took the Lantia, Wonder Woman, and Artemis. So I'm curious, like to see what this Boa Ra is, and plus I do like Artemis.
You love Artemis
and
a lot.
The big axe.
I'm very excited for the Witching Hour that's coming after this.
So I've actually enjoyed this series pretty good. Let's talk about the art really quick before I start getting into stuff like that. But the art was I think they did Artemis a lot of justice, and like the other characters, like the Queen, the Queen that they did.
A lot of her panels
Atlanta.
were beautiful.
Yeah, but I really felt like Wonder Woman was just so flat. Like she looked like a paper doll, or like a, I don't know, like a Sunday morning newspaper comic.
And
like,
the colors were different for this one too.
It was
like
very
it was either
bright.
a lot of blues or a lot of orange.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that panel I was just at? Like here, like it was definitely like series. Like this was this, this was this.
Yeah.
A
lot of color schemes in different places. I mean, I liked it though. I've liked it the past couple issues. I think the art is. I mean, it's been
okay.
I enjoy it. I really like it.
The last couple issues have just been kind of okay for me.
I really like this way that they're going. I kind of like that she's brought in her aunt and she's going to the big. Maybe like I feel like they're expanding Wonder Woman's cast.
I guess I feel like kind of on the fence because I feel like it's a little bit of filler because I know that there's a new writer that's coming on board here pretty quick, and so I don't know. I haven't disliked it, but it hasn't been like my favorite.
Oh, I disagree.
It's been middle of the road for me.
I've actually enjoyed it more recently than I have in the past because I feel the past has been kind of, they don't know where they're going, what direction, and I feel like
once
with this, they
we
at
got to the
least give her
side of it, I was like, and we're moving on.
yeah, but like even with that, like once they got done with that, they went into the weird. Where she visited the assassin from a couple issues back, and she just hasn't really had like a story thing. There hasn't.
And I guess that's where I'm saying that like I feel like it's been a little filler where we don't really know like where it's going.
I really enjoyed it. I think I would say this is probably a 3 out of 5 unicorn horns.
Well, I was still giving it a 3. I would still say it's a 3. It's middle of the road for me.
I would even I would say 3.
Yeah,
I'd say 3.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Just,
I thought it was
kind of one of those where it's like I wasn't just I don't feel super invested. But I'm also like you're a big fan of Artemis. I'm sure that would bring some joy to the reading. But for me, I'm like Artemis. I'm like she's new to me, a new character for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I could see where like that would bring oodles to the book.
I definitely don't think this book is something you can jump in on. You have to like
no.
At least go back 3 issues
or start with the next one because this was a finale.
Yeah. So this one was
the book as a whole I enjoy. I love Wonder Woman.
Series,
But
and see, like I'm the exact opposite. Like I haven't enjoyed it for a long time, and now I feel like it's actually starting to get somewhere, like some kind of direction or story.
It's probably the newness for me.
Yeah, it's possible.
Where I'm just like, it's Wonder Woman.
There's so many things, all the things.
Okay, I was like, we can't talk about Doomsday Clock because
you can't go for it. No, do it.
No, without discussion, I cannot talk about this book. Okay,
I kept putting it off. So it's in our pull list, and Jenny's read it, but I have not. I knew it was going to be so heavy. I was trying to get through things, and so I kept putting it on the back burner. I just can't.
Okay.
Like because it's not.
You and I are going to talk about this off camera.
Okay.
No, it's not.
None of them have been light reads.
No, it's not
like,
a light read.
All just, I mean, like you have to invest some time. So I couldn't do it. And it's like, I mean, like, look at the words. Like, it's just a wall of words.
It's a lot.
And you have to pay attention, and I don't think I'm smart enough to read this book.
That's not true. That's not true. It's just, I think the biggest problem is the delays, quite honestly. Because in a trade, this is going to be great, I think.
Maybe that's why. Because Watchmen I had a hard time with, but I read it in a trade, and I think I understood it a lot more when I read it consecutively.
This was I'm not going to say this wasn't a good issue. It's just, it was so long from the last one that I was struggling a little bit in the beginning. And then as we went along, I was just like, wait, what? What? So you read.
Okay.
We will discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's the one I'm going to do.
You're gonna do X-Men Red?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we talk about Silencer?
Sure, we can.
Let's
we
talk
can do
about Silencer.
or blue, but I want to do red.
I don't read blue.
Oh.
So, yeah, okay, you talk about red.
You want to do red and then I'll do blue?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so Silencer has been fun. So this is issue number 9. It is written by all this Green Lantern in the back.
Pat Zeiger.
Thank you. I was like, where is it?
Zurcher.
Patch Zerker and
the
Dan
artist.
Abnett is the...
Is
Oh,
Dan
no,
Abnett.
sorry. Backwards.
Yep, they flipped
Patch
it.
was the art. Dan Abnett is the writer.
Yep.
And this series has been fun. It's the only series coming out of Metal that I've been reading, out of all the new characters.
I tried
So-
Sideways.
And Zane actually really likes Sideways. Do you like
Really?
Sideways?
I tried number 1. I was like, I really had no desire to pick a number 2.
Do you see how many books
Not
I
that it
read?
was bad. I know I think that's what, like, I don't think it was bad, but
Yeah.
it was just, didn't catch me. I didn't want to invest more because I was just already in. But this one I like.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
with
this
you,
one a
like,
lot. This is actually the second week where I'm like, Jenny, you need to cull your pull list because it's getting out of control.
Although I'm gonna wait till you're done with your review and then we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I want to see if I agree with you or not.
Okay. So this issue starts out in the last issue. Silencer and I can't remember his name.
The big
guy
yeah.
have switched places.
Right.
Quietus have switched places. So Silencer's in his body and, vice versa. And which would be very difficult because obviously, just switching bodies anyway, but he's mostly robot at this point. And so she's having to go through drop menus in order to be able to use his body. So basically as we're going through, she's destroying this freaking city. And he's just
because she's trying to learn all the
she's trying to, he's fighting her in her body, but she's having a hard time fighting him.
And it's kind of funny because he in her body punches him, and he's like, ow. He has you have nothing. You have no body.
Yeah, so he's used to being kind of indestructible, whereas now it's like a flesh body.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was an agent prior to having all of this done to his body, so he still knows how to fight. So he has an advantage over her. And so, come to find out, this lady... Wishbone is using her magic. So she has stayed...
she was one of
loyal.
Talia's generals in the black in
Leviathan.
In the magic department.
Yes, and so she is still
she's the one that
loyal.
switched. She's the one that switched their bodies.
Yeah, that switched their bodies around, and so she's basically using up all of her power to get them to fight against each other. And so about halfway through, they form a truce and are like, okay, this is silly. We want our bodies back. Right. And so if we're going to do that, we need to not kill each other because then...
what's her name?
Yeah, we need to just get Wishbone. And so they bring in... Another guy comes in to take them out.
Which Wishbone had kind of voodoo dolled him to coming into
to go
this,
in and to do all that. She has a familiar, which she turns into a monster. Because he's trying to be like, no, you need to stop. This is going to use up all your power. This is going to kill you. And she's getting mad at him because she basically feels like he's underestimating her. And so
she's like, I can do it. It's fine.
So she turns him into her little black cat familiar.
Yeah.
And he's still like, no, you know. So she ends up using him as a kaiju style monster.
Really? Yeah.
To take, it's like, hi.
That's a kitty cat.
Yeah, that is that's Michael.
Meow, try.
What?
Did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
Oh, yes. I love it.
Yeah, try.
Yes.
I love you.
And so they're like, oh my god. And so they have to work together, the three of them, so Quietus, Gun, and Silencer, to take this monster out. It looks like he possibly smashes, because he eats Gun.
Right.
The monster eats Gun.
And he almost smashes them, but...
Yes, but she was able to get the Silencer bubble to work.
Right.
So they were...
No, she uses the force field from the body she's in.
Oh, that's right. She uses Quietus's force field. That's right. So
he's
it's not a Silencer battle.
Because, being in her body, he's like, oh, you found the drop-down menu for the shield.
That's right. And so they don't get smashed, but then this kaiju monster starts heading towards the amusement park where Silencer's family is. And so they're like, no, we have to go, stop them. And he's like, why? And she's basically like, do you want this body back? Yeah. You're going to go do what I say.
You're going to go help.
So it was a fun issue. I feel like the last couple issues for me have been a little slow. There are exciting things that happen, but I feel like we could have already moved forward a little bit. So this one, it was just like, Okay.
I totally. We were in complete agreement on that one. I was like, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was a great story.
It's an issue. I didn't think anything happened though. It's just like, all right, let's move along past this.
Yeah,
I think it would have been. I would have rather them had Quietus, like they make the truce. They stop the bad guy, or they stop the guy from killing them, and then they started going towards getting Wishbone.
Yes.
But otherwise, now it's like
So
now they're
you know-
delaying it more, and it's just like
the whole next issue is going to be them trying to take the kaiju down at the amusement park. We already know
Right.
that's what the next issue is going to be
Right.
about, and that's all it's going to be about.
Yeah.
So I'm a little disappointed in that way.
Right.
But they are fun stories. I didn't really like love the whole body switching thing, just because I'm like,
I thought it was
felt-
kind of weird.
well, to me it just felt like, oh, here's something to write a story about. Not that it necessarily added anything to that. Like I was more annoyed than like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like I was
Yes.
just like,
What did you think about the art?
the art was fine.
I completely disagree.
Eh,
I was disappointed, especially considering that the arts that they had in the past have been pretty tight.
She had the stupid visor again.
Yes, I just noticed that for you. She hates the visor. It doesn't bother me. I can see where
I don't know why it's annoying. It's just annoying.
It's because it looks like she's gonna go like hunting in the woods. but,
Yeah.
like, it's just like you're an assassin. Why would you want? Oh, I didn't need to buy. Anyways, I guess the visor keeps the sun out of your eyes instead of the glasses you wear. But like the artist in the
thought it was
past,
fine.
John Romero Jr. did it. I really like his like that super sketchy blocky art.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. So I always
This one
enjoyed
was
that.
definitely smoother.
And then they had that other artist, but his stuff was a lot smoother. But this one I was just like I
think it's
was not
underwhelming.
impressed.
I mean, that's why I say fine.
It looks
I'm like,
rushed.
It's fine.
It just looks rushed and like oh, let's get a book out.
Yeah.
And I felt like that makes the story feels rushed too. Like,
But I felt
so.
like the story felt rushed out too. Like we just need
Yeah.
something to write this issue
Yeah.
about. So I don't know. I'm beginning to feel like this should have been a miniseries.
I'm not disagreeing
That
with this.
maybe it was like not even. I mean, like a 10-6. Like
Yeah.
I feel like they should have already wrapped up the story because a lot of the stories have felt very filler, and so it's. Well,
it goes back
wasn't-
to so we had our comic book club today, and it goes back to we were talking about a book that they had a villain, and it's one villain, and the way that the writer did it worked really well because even though they were going to the same villain, it didn't seem like they didn't know what was going on and that.
Right.
And I feel like that's what this book is starting to happen. She's going after Talia, and it's just like the same premise over and over and over again.
Yes.
And it's not, even though there's like these side adventures, it's still like
the story's not moving forward.
The story's not moving forward. So instead of having like one issue where you have this side adventure, it's now getting 3 or 4 issues of a side adventure,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, we're never going to wrap this up.
Because I think we're like, what? Is this 3 or 4 issues of them being at like the Adventureland?
This would be 3
3.
because they had the one where they had the plane. They were going to Adventureland. They got to Adventureland. That's when the Quietus got
That's
their
right,
body
and then this
switched.
one.
And now this one. So now there's going to be a 4th one where they're at the.
Now they're going to be at
Yeah.
Adventureland.
So it's I
It's
feel like
not-
the side stories are taking more of a front seat instead of being side
Yeah.
stories in a back seat like they should.
Because like I felt like Quietus is fine as a bad guy, but Lady Wishbone would have been much more interesting. And I
Right.
felt like she was such a small part. I mean, yes, she's the person that made this happen, but
she's
there
in
was
the
no
background
battle whatsoever.
And even the
you know?
cover, like I would have liked, like she's got this octopus arms and she's got this like weird demon
Yeah, like
face.
she looks amazing.
I
here,
really wish they
but
would have fought her. Like
this was
I'm
not-
sure they will eventually. It's taken longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So what would rating would you give this? Or you're gonna pick up next issue, right?
I am gonna pick
Yeah.
up next issue. I mean, I guess it's like a 2.53. I mean, it's not
I would say a 2.
2. But
I was not that
I
impressed
think
with
because
it.
going back to where we were with Odyssey, I would have to give it a 2 because I mean, like where Odyssey, I was like kind of a 2.5 because of the art. This is probably a 2
Yeah.
because I enjoyed Odyssey more than this.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
You
I
know.
don't disagree. All right.
Okay.
So final book. I'm gonna do X-Men Red.
Which prison cover?
Oh, I'm glad you're not biased about things.
I
So,
I really try to keep an open mind, but there are a few things that I'm a little biased about.
Tom
Tom
Taylor
King.
is the
Tom King.
yeah. Yes, you are. But at least it's a good bias. Like I feel like Tom King is worth the bias because he's actually put out some really good stuff. Especially
and I try to be honest about it.
We've reviewed a couple things of his, and we've really.
I've been very, very happy with his stuff.
So Tom Taylor's the writer. Carmen Carnero is the artist, which I think she is a new artist. The artist before was really, really good. It was the Muhammad Asar.
I don't remember his name, but I do remember. I like the art.
So this is a new artist. But anyways, so let me go over the story and then we'll talk about the art really quick. So the story is,
Cassandra Nova?
Yes, thank you. I was like, Xavier's sister! Cassandra Nova has made these little mini sentinels and she's sending them out to increase the hatred of the world. And they have this little...
freaking love that.
Yeah.
That was
these little news anchors arguing together and the woman's like, they've proven, the mutants, Jean Grey has proven that she wasn't the killer, all this stuff, and like, this guy's just hating on the mutants, and she's like, and she basically calls him an a-hole, and it's pretty awesome.
And then they go to, please stand by.
Yeah, please stand by. And then, so they are trying to stop these little mini sentinel things from getting into people. And so Jean Grey is going to help Trinity use, it's not Cerebro, it's
Cerebro.
Cerebro,
yeah. Okay. Can I just say that for me, like, I love X-Men, but I'm new to a lot of X-Men. And so that was really confusing because I was like, I thought it was spelled this way, and I pride myself on spelling.
But it's under the C. It's under the C, so it's Cerebro.
It's Cerebro, and it threw me off for a couple. I was like, wait, what?
I have a hard enough time pronunciation anyway.
It's Dark Cerebro.
Dark Cerebro. Dark Fizzlock. Like, this might as well be.
So they're in Atlantis X.
Yeah, oh God. Man, I'm horrible at this. How are we going to have a show? Like, nobody's gonna watch.
Everyone's just gonna get used to our little like quirky.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
I can't give a review to save my life. He can't remember names to save his life. I'm caught in the details.
We'll eventually get through a book at some point. So they're using Trinity to stop the Sentinels, but there's too many of them. Trinary. Sorry. Trinary. That's what I'm talking about.
It's Fizzlock.
Trinary. So Trinary is, but she can't do it because it's too painful, and she can't expand her mind like that without causing damage.
Yes.
So of course they use the tiniest 8-year-old Wolverine clone
who has the best attitude about life.
Best lines ever. And so they use Gabby because Gabby can't feel pain and she can heal.
Is her name Honey Badger? Yes. For real? Like that's what they call her?
That's her code name. Yes.
I love it so much.
Yes. So she is, so they're going to use Honey Badger, and Weapon X is like, no, or X-23 is like, no, this is not okay. And they're like, she's like, use me. And we can't because, or we can, but you'll be
this
in pain.
This would be very painful. Basically, it's like ripping her brain apart.
Right.
And it
1,000 times to go to be able to expand.
Yeah. So it'll heal, but it'll be.
And so Gabby's like, I can do it. So
because Gabby doesn't feel pain.
Right. And so Cassandra sends out the Sentinels, and she reaches out to Jean Grey, and because Jean Grey is using her mind, and so she's like, this is a perfect time to attack her. And so she says no, so they try to send, they find out where she's at. And they send Nightcrawler, Storm, and Gambit. No, just Nightcrawler and Storm. Storm goes to attack them.
That's right.
And so they go to attack them, and Storm's like, I got it handled, and Nightcrawler's like, don't get too close. Storm's like, check.
Yep. Gotcha.
Check.
Bamf.
Yep. So Gabby ends up passing out because they shut down her brain. And X-23 jumps in and is like, I can do this. I got this. And so she gets in there and they rip her brain apart while the whole time Cassandra is still attacking Jean. And next thing you know, there's a big giant wave that Storm has created.
Awesome.
Yeah. To wipe Genosha off the world. And she's like, bam. Hit you with a tidal wave.
She's like, oh.
Yeah. like you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap. I hit you with an ocean.
At me, bro.
I'm gonna smack you with an ocean.
It's literally like we're taking out this entire island.
Yeah. That is some spring cleaning.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is an abandoned island? Sweet.
So they expand. They are Trinary expands her mind, kills all the Sentinels. Gabby wakes up and she's like, "Did we win?
Yeah.
Like, we won." She's like, "Oh, was it amazing?" She's like,
"Can you replay it
again?" Yeah. She's super excited. She's so funny.
She's very cute.
And then Cassandra Nova takes Forge and is gonna use him to rebuild. So
because she used him to get this far, right? Like
right.
She used his brain to create
the
the
Sentinels. And then she's
Sentinites
also going to use, to get back at Jean, she's going to use Rachel, which is her daughter from the alternate line. So
I have a question for you.
Okay.
This here. What did you think of all of this?
What do you mean?
Well, just it was a little on the nose, possibly.
I don't know. I thought it was good. I mean, like, I think they worked through it. It's just
I think once it rolled around, but it was just, it took me out of the book a little bit.
No, I don't think it took. I don't.
You stayed with it.
So what she's asking is like there's a like splash page where it's say your name.
Trinary.
Thank you. It's like triplicate king.
Fizzlock.
Trinary is she's destroying all the Sentinels by using all the negative stuff that she has built up from the internet. She's been downloading. She's been trying to take like dark things from the internet little by little and helping to make the internet a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And she uses all these dark things and she sends them to all the Sentinels. And so it talks about like uploading all the bad stuff to each of these Sentinels that are going to all these different cities. And so I
guess it was just because it was so like specific. But I was like, wait, what?
I kind of liked it, though, because they explained how they were doing it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something they were just like, oh, we're just destroying them. Mm-hmm. And, it's like, done.
Yeah.
So I felt like they used the information well and did something kind of different, unique.
With zettabytes of spite. I was just like, okay.
Shut up. Quit ruining my superheroes. I loved it.
I'm sorry, it was the zettabytes of spite.
I really like this book, though.
I do too.
I have enjoyed this one for a while.
The pacing is really, really good in this book.
The characters are really good, which I am a horrible Wolverine hater. I'm sorry. I just feel like he does too much. He's in too many books. So anyways, but like, so I'm not a huge fan of like X-23 or Gabby or Honey Badger, so I don't read their books.
But they were.
But I love them in this. Like they're so good, and they make me want to read X-23.
Yes.
Because just to see more Honey Badger, and like I like X-23 in this book. I didn't say right now.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I mean, like you just try it out.
Yeah, no, I do not disagree because
I like Trinary. She's a newer one. She's a fun character. Mm-hmm. I like the costuming in this.
I like the way they've developed her.
This new artist was very similar to the old one, so it didn't feel like it really was jarring, a very jarring change.
I actually really liked the art in
this
issue.
I've loved the art since this.
Like Cassandra Nova, like she looks purely evil.
Yeah, she really does. It's almost like a mixture between the old artist and Phil Jimenez. Like I don't know why I'm on this Phil Jimenez kick, but
it's probably because
just the detailing.
Texting you pictures of Phil Jimenez all the time.
And like, well, I mean, like when like Storm like swoops in,
we went to the same page.
Yeah, it's just like that panel's really cool.
Yes,
and their costumes, I love their costuming is really neat.
The way they've done their costumes in this one has been really, really good. I've liked the new designs.
I haven't been a fan of Storm's costume for a little while. She's got that bathing suit one that they keep putting.
I like this one,
but I like this one. This
all
one's
these
probably my favorite.
pantsuits are like really badass looking. And I like how X-23 and Honey Badger kind of have similar costumes because they're similar
coloring.
Characters.
And Trinary, I like her little like booties with the little dress.
And I also am finding myself very attracted to Nightcrawler.
I know. I think you like beards, though. You're weird.
I do like beards.
So I would recommend this series if you're not reading, if you want to read a superhero book, or if you're not reading this book and you're an X-Men fan. Definitely recommend this one. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the better out of the three, the gold, the blue, and the red, which I think the gold and blue are wrapping up, but this one's actually really good.
And is this one, do you know if this is going to stay going? Because I know that they're Extermination, we're launching into Uncanny. So this is staying, right?
Uh-huh. And
that's what I thought.
They're doing Uncanny, and then the X-Men Red's supposed to stay
and
for a little while.
Astonishing?
So I read the other day that I guess they only so in X-Men Blue the guy that wrote it was only he said it was only supposed to be like 18, 19 issues.
Oh, okay.
So they made it further than they thought they were going to.
Oh, okay.
So I guess like the X-Men Gold and Blue were supposed to only be for short series.
So maybe these.
So I'm hoping this one they'll probably do a couple issues of this one maybe and then
because I
discontinue
really
it.
really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I
from
totally
the story.
agree.
How many unicorn horns?
I would probably say a three. I would say almost a 4. I'd say
I would
4.
give it a 4. I personally would give it a 4.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from just I just really enjoyed it.
Well, and it's doing the same thing that we've talked about, where he's writing the weightiness of what's happening very well, to where you feel like it's important, and you feel like what's happening to these characters is important.
Yes.
As opposed to just what are we doing here?
And I feel like this kind of talks about what I was talking about earlier, where it's like they have a villain, so they have Cassandra Nova, but they're doing these little side missions to kind of defeat her at some point, but they eventually confront her. Like, it's only 8 issues and they're confronting her.
Yes, like
they're
we're
not,
the bad guy.
Yeah, we're not like still trying to figure out who the bad guy is or get to the bad guy. It's the actual bad guy that they're fighting. Granted, they don't win, but they go on.
But something's happening. Like, we're moving the story forward.
Right.
And so they're doing a great job, in my opinion.
I totally agree. So
what did you have left on your pull list?
So what I actually read left on my pull list is X-Men Blue, which this was the finishing one. They ended that one, and it was okay. It was them saying bye to people and kind of wrapping things up. It kind of feels like an afterthought just because Extermination's already out. I've already read 2 issues of that, so it's not. It's kind of like I just read it to finish the series. So overall, I give it probably a 2 out of 5 unicorn horns, just because there's nothing to it.
Yeah,
it's just a book.
Yeah,
they're just finishing up, tying up their little things and being done. And then my other one that I had was Titans number 26. I really had high hopes for this book, and they have unfortunately let me down.
Yeah.
I was not impressed. Like, I really thought this whole premise of them finding the source wall stuff was going to be really something super exciting, and it's really not.
Yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed by that.
Yeah,
one.
I'd say 2 out of 5 unicorns.
I agree.
I may be giving that one up soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence because, like I said earlier, I'm at a place where I'm reading so many things that I feel like I need to cull my list because I don't think I'm getting to enjoy the things I do love as much because I'm just trying to read.
I think eventually it's going to be on the. It's going to get cold.
Yeah. So what else do you have that you haven't read yet?
I have Domino Annual, which I haven't read, but I'm looking forward to it now.
It was fun.
Doomsday Clock, which I'm really worried to read because it's just so heavy.
I'm looking forward to us discussing that
Extermination, though, I'm really looking forward to this one.
You and me have to talk about this book.
I'm so excited about this book.
I'm so confused every time I read that book.
Okay, good. I'm glad I can help you out.
Guys, I'm so confused.
So many storylines.
I mean, I literally... Okay. I know we're not, talking about that book, but, seriously, as I was going through, I was like, I just need to get through this so I can talk to Alan. I just need to get through this so I can talk to Alan. I don't even know who that person is. Did we talk about them in the last issue?
Possibly not. And then I got Iron Hammer, which is, the Infinity Wars, where they're doing, the crossover. I read the last one, which was, the Shield Strange, or the Captain America Doctor Strange one.
Okay.
It was okay. It was not. I mean, it's just these little one-shots, which are kind of fun. So I'm interested to see this one. This one's supposed to be Thor and Iron Man together, so I'm kind of interested to see how they kind of mash it together. I just think it's, again, some reading fodder. And then I picked up 2 that I, unfortunately, I haven't read. So this is Batgirl number 27.
I was about to say, I didn't think you read that one.
No, I kind of gave up Batgirl. I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then now they've started this new kind of costuming and new kind of storyline.
Is it new team on it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And the artist I really like, the Paul Pelletier.
Oh.
He is one of my he's probably up there with my top 10.
Yeah, we've talked about him before.
I really enjoyed his art, and so I noticed he was on the book, so I really wanted to read it just to see his art. But I didn't read this is the second in a arc. So I didn't read the first one in the arc, so I don't know I'm going to read the first one in the arc and then read this one.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I'm kind of interested in this.
I know.
That was very pretty.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Let me know. I'm not going to pick it up.
No. I'll just let you know.
Until he lets me know.
And then Justice League Dark number 3. I didn't get to read number 2. I think I
You
missed.
have to read number 2.
I know. I missed it on my pull list, so I don't know where it's
Oh.
at. So I have to go get it. So I have to read number 2
And
before
you
I
got
number
the
3.
variant.
Yep.
Jelly. He didn't have any more variants when I went to go get mine.
You can have one if you want.
It's okay. I kind of like the scary Mike Mignola, or not Mike Mignola, but Guillermo del Toro bad guy on the front.
It kind of is like.
So,
All right. So
all
what do you
right.
have
So
left?
I have a lot on my list.
Okay.
So Justice League Dark.
Which we am.
I'm really enjoying this book. I really like magic. I'd probably give it a 3. Have you picked up on that?
Yes.
I like magic, so
All
it's
of our
fun.
magic books.
Yeah, I have lots of magic books. So this one was good. I think go back and read 2 though. So
Yeah.
I would give it a 3 though. I mean, it's good. It's going to be tying into the Witching Hour, which I'm very excited for.
Oh, well,
which
the
is the
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman Witching Hour series. I'm really excited for that. So enjoying this. You and me need to talk about this because I don't even
Okay.
know how to rate this because I don't know what happened.
Okay. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, Detective. These 2 issues, the last issue and this one, I'm really liking this team because it's really like detective stories.
Uh-huh.
So it's Batman getting back to his roots with the detective side, and it's also the first time that
We're not even gonna do that
they've actually. So while I've been reading, it's the first time that they've actually referred to what's happened in the Batman book in the detective book. So it talked about Selena and like kind of what he's been going through with Selena. So this has been a really, really good story. I actually went back and read the last issue just for the continuity side of it because this is really good. This book, okay, so this one I would give a solid 4.5. Really, really like this book.
Man, you did have a lot.
This one, I'm like on the verge of giving it up every week, and then the very last frickin' page does something that makes me go, oh no, I need
Get
to
you
know
that
what
page.
happens in the last issue. 2. This is fun.
They usually are.
You know,
Yeah.
3. I really like this series. Mike got me started on this one. He actually bought me the first trade of Beast of Burden. Again, magic. But I would give it a 3. I don't know if this would be everybody's cup of tea,
Yeah.
but it's a fun read. And then Witchblade, this is another one of those that I kind of want to call off my list, but then
What number is it?
this is number freaking 9, I think.
Oh.
8. It's not good, but at the same time, it's like one of those where it's like I'm not ever
It's not
super
great.
excited to
Right.
read it. But then when I read it, I'm like, oh, well, that was good.
Oh, there you go. That's a big
So
list.
do you see this? Do you see this?
It's a big list. That's what he said. All right. Well, thanks for sitting with us with another episode of A Girl and a Unicorn comic book reviews. If you get a chance, like,
subscribe, and comment below.
Whether you liked it or not, whether you agree with our opinions or not. If you don't, let us know why.
Yeah.
Nicely, please.
Please. No trolling. Trinary will
Yeah,
upload your trolling.
So until next week, I hope your pull list is full. Bye.
I had so many bugs.
I have to